Alright, so welcome to our Vingolf 3 set review. I am Gerds, as usual, and also joining me today is Brendy and Andrew. And we're just gonna jump right into it. We're just gonna go through by color. I really don't know how long this is gonna take, so we're gonna find out. So starting off, we have Arlo. Um, Personally, I'm not super sold on this card. I don't know what you guys think.
So when I saw this
First,
card,
alright, go for it.
I first thought, oh man, I could put this in fairies, but then it costs 4, which is a little too much for me to want to spend on any card in fairies. So I don't know. It's kind of cool, but I don't think it's going to see much play, unfortunately.
I I kind of like it. It's neat. It's like if they don't have an instant speed answer to your celestial, you kind of get a little more protection for it. At the same time, she acts as a bow too, right when she comes in. So it's not like as impactful as Lucifer hitting the board, but
That was the
it's
guy.
more resilient. I don't really care. Um,
Just
Still
making
but
top
sure
10
it's
in
nice.
Chief.
perfectly clear.
She's. I mean, I'm gonna keep saying she to stay with Dead Jesus here. But she has 3 abilities, so she's also very modular, and I like modular people or cards.
Yeah, I mean it. I guess it's if you're looking for a bow on a stick that never runs out, you got one. It's a bit too slow in my opinion. I mean, you it is technically a 4 mana kill spell with a Dreams of Flight because you could just give anything flying and then use the last ability, but that is a costly
Yeah.
ability. Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if you want to pay 4 for this and then set up next turn.
yeah,
Like, oh yeah, Dreams of Flight, kill your guy. Yeah,
yeah.
okay,
No,
okay, dude.
the only way I see this being okay is if you're getting Alpha Celestial. That's it.
The cool thing to note with this that I just looked at that I didn't realize before is you can destroy additions and regalia with him repeatedly. So that's kind of a useful little thing if you also want a guy that can beat. So I don't know, maybe it might have some applications moving forward, but so just interesting tech.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on. Next up is Arthur. I don't like this card. I don't really. It's just like a a anthem effect for any race is cool. Um, where you really want this is Knights, which has it for 2 colorless less. And true,
You
it
have to
doesn't.
be specific when you say it, though. Keep that in mind. Don't
Yeah,
just say
yes,
knight.
yes, Knight of the Round Table. Um, yeah, I just think blanking whatever his name is, but Gawain is just a better.
Gawain?
Yeah, yeah. Like this is cool if you're
Well,
running like some other uh type of race. I don't think it's
Bunnies?
good, buddies. I don't think it's good for knights personally.
I would agree, but I would say that given you're not playing that interactive matchup, it's really good on curve because playing that turn one. I mean, ideally turn one Percival into Wayne into excuse me. Did I mean Wayne? Yeah,
Gawain, yeah,
into Lancelot. Yeah, and then you have Lancelot, and then turn four this guy.
yeah, yeah.
So it's nice little curve.
Um, I mean, I could see running in some number, but it's not like I wouldn't say more than two.
It wouldn't be a mainstay to the deck, you know, it wouldn't be the vital
No, I
four. I
don't.
could see maybe a 2 of, maybe, and it might not be awful, but it does boost
Well,
Jade
I just don't.
resonators, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, Knights isn't really that like great, and this doesn't give it a huge buff, but it's a cool card.
Yeah, I agree. All right, let's move on to the next one because this guy might be really powerful. Um,
A little less of a stinker.
yeah. I mean, so we've come to a conclusion that it's just anything that's that has that type gives it the effect. So
Yeah.
so all of the rulers in this set make it a 13/13. So that's pretty strong. The question is just how good are they? Um, Other than that, there aren't really many other dragons that I can think of. Correct me if I'm wrong. At
There
least in
is
What?
on the
What?
on the ruler
Oh, in the
side.
set. Excuse me. Yeah.
Yeah, in the set. I don't see any
no. Well,
others.
what?
There's Baja.
Yeah, no. Okay, I was
On
gonna
his
say at
J
least
side,
in. I was
yes.
gonna say at least in New Frontiers. I mean,
Oh, Glyber.
there's Gwyber and the red one.
Sylvia.
Not that one.
Drake.
The Drake. Yeah. And I looked it up. There's the one that shoots itself on enter, which isn't. I don't think it's great for this one.
The Bloodfire Dragon.
Yeah.
Oh
There's
yeah, that one.
Velspher.
Not too great.
And there's
too
a
great.
Oh, dude, you're forgetting the best dragon.
the 4-drop 8/8 swiftness.
Oh yeah, there's that too. That's
I said Velspher.
I played that before. No, yeah, it's not called that. Whatever.
I don't really.
But you forgot
I
the
know
best
what it
dragon,
Which one?
Sylvia.
I said that.
She is.
We were
did you?
talking-
Excuse me.
Which one? Which one are you talking about? Because she is not a dragon.
I'm talking about the ruler.
She is not on her ruler
She's
side
a-
though.
Not on ruler's side. No,
Yeah,
she's
I
what
know,
is she like?
I looked it up. It's like
Clan
clan
founder.
leader. I looked it up this morning. So
It's
it's
clan
Yeah,
founder.
yeah.
I'm looking at it right now.
She's not even a dragon on her backside, right?
No, she is.
Yes, she is. She's clan
is.
founder /
Oh wait,
dragon.
then she was errated.
Oh, it was.
Because I know she's a dragon on one of the sides that wasn't a dragon.
Oh, we should look it up.
Yeah, she was errated. She's a dragon. I'm like 90% sure. Because I remember I either thought her J ruler side was not a dragon formerly and it stayed clan founder and they errated it to dragon, or her ruler side was errated to dragon, and I'm
No,
pretty sure the latter.
It's actually worse than you thought. They changed it to minion of primogenitor.
Primogenitor.
Yeah.
What on her ruler side?
And
Yeah, her
and J
ruler side is
side they
next.
changed founder.
Oh my
But
god.
her J ruler side still is dragon though. Her J
Yes,
ruler does
yeah.
retain dragon, but she
Yeah.
has been errated to minion of primogenitor.
Well, fail.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, a little
it's
bit.
not very great. Well, it's not very. It has potential. I mean, let's hold off on this one. I think we can all agree that this thing's really good. If the
Very, very, very good.
if the rulers are
If the
good,
dragons
so,
are good.
so let's
If
yeah.
the
Well,
dragons are good,
are we
hold off.
basing? Hold on. Can we just rephrase? How
Yeah.
are we analyzing these cards? Are we analyzing them in the sets of their new frontier power, or are we just analyzing them based on their set power?
New Frontier. I mean, if you want to talk about Wander,
Okay.
go for it. But I don't really think any of us are thinking about that one right now.
Okay, I think this guy is actually like defining for new frontiers because it makes mono white like really viable. Just there's going to be a card we'll talk about later that comes down the road, but it's very reminiscent of Gretel. And then you've got this guy, and you've also got Gwyber. So you have those three cards that interact very well together, and it's just going to be able to accelerate decks like that. Plus,
I see what you're
it's
saying. I have an issue with the mono way thing, but we'll get to it when we get to the ruler.
Okay.
Because it's with the ruler.
Yep.
Okay. Let's move on to fire. This one's cool. I like this card. I mean,
Very-
I dig this card a lot. It's super difficult to kill her.
Yes.
Super difficult to
yeah,
kill her.
and
I like
she's
it.
either just a consistent attacker that you can't kill or block her. So, I don't think she's good in a aggressive shell. I could see her really shine in a mid-range shell, which, granted, that doesn't really exist in this game so much right now. But we can see.
Nah, I don't think in the sense of competition she's going to be very strong. I do think this is a very good boon to the Faria decks though, because she is basically your ruler. She's your J ruler, but she's a resonator now. So you now have this like 6/6 that can protect itself. You just can't like free inheritance things onto it. But it's a beater that you can inheritance things onto and beat in and protect it.
Yep. Okay. Got
I
anything?
can see something like that. Yeah. I can see that argument. I think she's cool. I agree. I don't think she's gonna see much competitive play as of right now, unless we see like something crazy in the next set. But I mean, she's a cool card just in general. I don't know where her best application is gonna be moving forward.
Okay, let's move on then. Yeah, it's a reprint. It looks pretty.
Let's take take 5 seconds to admire the art.
Yeah, that's why I said it looks
It's
pretty.
very pretty art.
Okay,
Looks
and
real
move
good.
on.
And move on.
All right.
Alright, I don't know. You guys go first, cause I don't know how I feel about this one.
Andrew, would you like to take the
So-
lead on this?
Sure, I'll take the lead. So this is something that actually Ashley had mentioned before. She's the one that came up with this. But this card in Wanderer, Wanderer's meta's not super like established right now, but this card in Grim can provide a complete lock for your guys with Aesop. Aesop and this guy on the field gives all your guys can't be targeted. Just in general, there's nothing your opponent can do aside from board wipe or make you, ban or sack, I guess, untargeted. But that's the one thing I think that's real cool with this guy is that he can provide that kind of quote lock protection in Wanderer, and I guess in New Frontiers he can give a protection, or no, he doesn't protect. He just makes everything fairy tales. That's about the only cool thing I see about him is just the Wanderer thing.
I mean, in Wander and Grim as well, he makes Grim a tutor anything, any resonator.
Yeah, he does.
So here, an interesting little factoid here that not many people kind of realize at the first reading. I mean, at least I didn't. Is that Grimm's not actually a human resonator. He's a human fairy tale resonator.
Yeah.
Because he gives it to himself. I didn't hear. I was like
Sure
reading the
does.
card, and I was like, I didn't understand why he got hexproof. But I was like, oh wait, he gets it too.
Yeah.
Yes, he does.
Yeah. The second ability is just cool. The extra bonus.
It's
for
kind of
having
cool.
William.
I feel like it's a
alright.
gravy kind of ability. It's not.
Yeah.
It's like nice, but it's not what's cool about the card.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, I kind of agree with all their sentiments. I mean, there's some cheesy stuff you could do with this and that addition that lets you put in a fairy tale if it's the top card of your deck at the end of turn. So I mean, like you could play Xian and like set up.
No, that's not how that works. It's you can cast
how
it.
that works. Oh, you can cast it. Oh,
No,
okay.
yeah,
Never
you have
mind.
to cast it.
Never mind then. All right, moving on. It's bad. It's bad. Moving on. Alright. So we have the first ruler, Celestial ruler. I wish I could show both these at once. I can't. Let's start with just the ruler side. So A, very pretty. B, energize, nice. The judgment's kind of costly, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think it's very overcosted.
Yeah, and I don't know how. I think of the resonance abilities, this is probably the one of the less relevant ones.
What? All right.
I mean,
I'm not gonna throw any hands in the air right now, because it's really early. But I have to say, I think this is the best one. Blue is really good too, but I think this is the best one.
That's fair. The only one I was gonna say could maybe be better is blue, and maybe green. Green could do some cheeky stuff.
Green's kind of nice.
Yeah, green's a cheeky one, but
I'll have a word about green when we get down to it, though.
Yeah, well, let's save that for then. But I mean, this is probably. I'm trying to think what the darkness one is off the top of my head. I think it's like minus.
It's you shrink stuff by 1.
Okay, that's not great. The fire one's also not great. I mean,
Yeah, it just deals 200.
But it is a May ability, which is relevant.
Yeah.
tight. What?
All right, do you have anything to say about this one, Andrew? Where would you rank it?
The light one, I actually would probably put
Oh,
second best. Actually, looking at all of them, second or third, it's tough. The pump can be relevant, but it's not always going to be relevant. So I think it's a little more niche than someone like. I think the water one's fantastic. Being able to basically scry every time you call a stone is really good. Gives you a lot of deck control. I'd put that one the best one.
Kind of reminiscent of a ruler from before, isn't it?
It's very
Pseudo,
similar,
yeah.
somewhat,
Yeah,
kinda.
cough,
Pseudo.
reflect.
Um, yeah. I don't
I
know.
wonder
Then
how
it's.
that went.
I mean, yeah, really. I'm a sucker for removal, so I kind of like the dark and the fire ones, just because you can combo that. That's just calling a stone. You get to like deal 200 damage and then demon flame something with the fire one, which is kind of cool. And the darkness, I don't know. The darkness one's probably much
Well,
weaker. I
let's
put
talk.
it a lot
Yeah,
lower.
let's talk about them when we get to them, I guess.
Yeah, we'll,
Yeah,
we'll
yeah.
talk to that, but yeah, I'd say it's in the middle. It's not overly fantastic. I think the light one's judgment is way too high. 5 is way too much
They
to
all cost
judgment for
5, don't
anything
they?
unless it.
Yeah.
I think they do. Yeah, I think it's just
Yeah.
way too expensive unless your J side is just you win the game or put
Well,
your opponent back
okay.
crazy amounts.
So the more I think about this one, um, I think I'm actually gonna put it at the best. The reasoning is let's move on to the J ruler side. Because as I mentioned earlier, I had an issue with its enter, because it blows up everything. But thinking that over, so like as Brendy was implying, you want to play a mono white, uh, aggro-ish, and you just spam the board with things, and this just kind of undoes that. But thinking about it now, it's not as bad as it was on my first thought because since it's so costly, you're not gonna judgment it till late game anyway. And I think it's kind of just something that's just kind of there as a insurance thing. Um, to just if you start to lose tempo on board, you just go, okay, reset everything, and I now have a 10-12. So it's not as bad. Well, I didn't think it was bad. It's not as I don't have as much of a problem as I did with it on first thought. So I think I would actually put this at. It's still a little tied with blue, but it's definitely one of those two at first in my mind.
Yeah, I mean, like we can talk specifically to some of these when it comes in, but yeah, looking at it, it does do a full board wipe, which is good. I like it. It can do a lot of tempo swings, especially if you start to fall behind, or it can help you get back on the front foot if you're falling behind your opponent on board state. You can flip it to wipe it clean. Um, I would say it's probably second or third best in my opinion. We can go through that as we move forward, but that's about where I would put it in power, second or third best out of these, personally.
Yeah, I'm still gonna say that it's my favorite, or maybe it's not my favorite one, but I think it definitely has the most potential as far as any of the dragons to make it in like a competitive sense. Uh, Two reasons being like one, you just get to play basic stones, which means like the hook deck does nothing against you, and then two, you get to play Gwybers and Souls and a whole more shenanigans.
Yeah, yeah. The the reason I really like the water one, but then it's also in what I think we can all almost unanimously agree is one of, if not the worst color right now. I mean, outside of Hook and Val 2, it's not very strong.
It is. I would agree that it is the worst main color.
Yes, yes.
It is one of the
Yeah.
better supports.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay, let's move on. We have Knight Lord of Godspeed. I don't really think this card's great. It's just, yeah, thousand swiftness for 5. I guess is cool if you're looking for the mono white deck. But the enter's okay. But it's nothing to write home about.
I would agree. It's all right. I'm not super crazy about the card. It's all right.
Yeah, I think it's neat. I think it's cool because you can kind of like you can kind of manipulate a flooded board a little bit better and make good trades. But I don't think it's really that great. If you want to pay 5 to do that ability, you might as well. If you're just gonna like run your dudes into their dudes, you might as well just pay 5 and judgment your ruler. and just board wipe it anyway.
Yeah. 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 I agree. Okay. Next one. Similar thing. I don't really like this guy. I think he's probably the worst of this cycle. 'Cause I'm trying to think what even white chance are you gonna play? Like you have seal.
Well, it doesn't even matter because it just gains you life. It's just a very irrelevant effect compared to the other ones.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think it's good. I'm trying to even think. Like you have seal. Maybe you're running Dreams of Flight, but that you wouldn't want this in a deck that runs that. So I don't really know what
No,
this
I
goes
think
well with.
overall it's not. It just doesn't give you much value.
Yeah.
Gaining life isn't that relevant.
Yeah, I like these cycles. I think this one's the worst by far. Moving
I
on.
would agree.
Lumia. I like this card. Um, I don't know how much it at least pseudo nets you a card. Um, and it goes really well if you're playing the original Lumia ruler in Wanderer. It's obviously made for that. But this I don't know, this effect I think is really strong in a sort of mid-range list. Like I would definitely be playing this if I were running a mono white build, um, because you guys remember the in cons. I'm trying to remember what else was in standard then. The talking about magic here for a second. Sorry, but there was that. It was Cons Theros. Then remember the red white mid range deck. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Well, to sum it up, the
What did
main
it run? Like,
the main engine of it ran like Goblin Rebel Master. It ran the dragon
right.
that you
Yeah.
take 3
Yeah.
The main engine of that was the Outpost Siege, which does a similar effect, but it's every turn, and you can only use it that turn. So that obviously nets you more, but I think this is a similar style effect, and that effect is very good if you use it right, and especially because you can just do it anytime. Your only worry is this dying, and I think you can safely like drop this on 2 and not have to worry about it getting killed because it doesn't die to thunder, it uh doesn't die to like any of the 2 cost removal spells outside of a uh the sack one. I'm blanking.
Soul Hunt.
Thank you. Yes, outside of that one, it doesn't die to any of them. So I think this card's good. I don't know how good, but I think it's good. At least in the right style of deck. There are definitely going to be some decks that want it.
So when you said repeatable effect like Outpost Siege, I'm thinking this in Lumia.
Yeah.
Being able to blink it every time
Yep.
will net you a card every time it comes in. So that's kind of cool. I think one of the big things of why I won't go into Magic stuff. We don't need to analyze that stuff. But I like this card. It's cool. It gives you some advantage. It's definitely built for Wanderer for the Lumia deck. Definitely what they had in mind with this. I think it's cool. We'll see how good it is, but I think I like it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
like it.
Um.
It's also super pretty.
Uh,
But
Yeah. I kind of share the same sentiments. It's very, very good card. I think it definitely is geared. I agree with you. It's definitely more geared for that mid-range kind of like sit back, control, and then redevelop in a sense. But it's like it can be a draw 3 almost in some situations. So having just that ability later in the game is
Yeah,
really nice. And
in
then
the-
the body is
yeah.
just a plus.
yeah, like I could totally see you running this as a one of in a Lumia list because the list that we see running Lumia run either some number of Moonbeam or Fire Summons, so you can get the one, and it's like Brendy said, it's a pseudo draw 3, and maybe even more if you get to keep it around. So,
Yeah.
Okay, moving on. This is another reprint. Not even a
Reprint? Not a
Yeah.
bad looker, though.
No, it
You
looks
get to
good.
see Milliam's beautiful crotch.
Oh yes,
Excellent. What
they.
we were all waiting for.
Yeah, thank God we can all sleep easy. At least they picked pretty reprints. This is also a reprint, also a good looking one. Not good though. All right, now we're on Soul. Um, I don't. My first complaint with this card is they worded it right, so people can't ask Cosmer stupid questions about it. Um, other than that,
What do you mean by that? Like the feet sing
the feet
thing?
sing, yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
Cardinal flips
Yeah.
the feet sing. Do you get it?
Well,
The
it says
OG
it's the
memes.
wind. It says it's the
I
wind
know.
magic stone. Okay.
I know. But no, I mean if you're running mono white list, yeah, this card's great. I mean, it accelerates you, and if you're running mono white, you're probably running Gliber, so it's one of the reduces Gliber by 2. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm just gonna. I'm gonna keep piggybacking off of the what I started on Siegfried. It's just like it's very nice. It's really good curve. It's like a very unique curve for Gwyber because on some Gwyber turns you're like extending. Obviously, you're extending 3 cards from your hand, and you can kind of get like killed on a backswing. But these guys are calling your stones, so you get like turn 3, play a soul, call stone, have 2 stones up, play another soul, call stone, get 1, play Gwyber, and you're now still sitting on 5 stones. So you've ramped, plus you have a Gwyber on board and 2 extra 4/4s to boot.
You got anything to add, Andrew?
So I like this card in mono white. It's not really good anywhere but mono white. And will mono white be good moving forward? Maybe. There's a lot more tools to make it better.
White
I'm still
weenies
not-
will live.
Maybe. Just need to convince Craig West Coast to come over
Yeah,
here.
death
He'll
and
make it work.
taxes. Let's go. Just need swords now.
Exactly. But I mean, like, if White Weenies becomes the thing, yeah, this card's great. Otherwise, it's, outside of that, it's not very good.
I mean, like you said, if Craig Resco comes to this one, it'll be a thing.
Yeah, if he comes there, then we're golden.
Yeah,
He'll make
Oh,
it.
yeah.
We got there. All right, moving on. Yet another reprint.
Probably the least impactful reprint.
Yeah, but
Nope, but it looks
it's
pretty.
full art. It looks pretty.
That is actually a
Super
nice
pretty.
looker.
Another reprint
Super
that
pretty.
we now get a full art version of. So again,
I'm fine with that.
yeah. All right, Baja is where we're at now.
Okay.
I don't like it. I know. I think just too expensive overall. I know Lane's knee-jerk reaction was, "Oh my God, Incarnation again!" But I was like, "It's triple red, and it's by far the most fair and balanced Incarnation Resonator we've seen." So, I don't.
Yeah, I think
I'm
I
not
think
bad.
that was a little bit over the top. Triple red. So I was actually trying to do like some sort of calculations or some sort of like sequencing to figure out how you would get this guy out early, and it's just not efficient. Like you have red resonators, so typically you don't want to sack like anything that's costing 2 because then you're just like you're missing out. Because if you're sacking 3 2-drop resonators, you might as well have just paid 6 mana for it anyway. So it's like you want to be sacking like ones, and the only ones you have are like Rook Egg, of course, is the first one that comes to mind. But the other ones are like Gwen, they're like Flame Soldier of Volga. They're really bad things, and you don't want to play them
Yeah.
to just cast this guy.
Like unless
and I don't
you,
think that's
like-
worth it.
Unless you like nut draw 3 Rook Eggs, I never want to see this card. And even then,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure, I have a turn to 10-10, so I have a 4-turn clock. Okay.
Yeah, it's not that great. I mean, if you think back to Yogg Sothoth, it was triple incarnation, but 2 of them were black or red, so it was a lot easier to incarnate with it. These are things like Rasputin floating around back then.
Yogg also.
It was also a much more worthwhile. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was just a better card in general. So I don't think this card's gonna see any play.
Yep. Moving on. Speaking of
Unless
cards,
they print some sort of way to do red tokens. That's all I'm gonna say.
Sure. I could.
Ooh, bomb
yeah,
tokens.
I could see that. Yeah. No. That sounds very bad.
Yeah, super bad. Don't do it.
moving on. This card is
So terrible.
bad. Yeah, never mind. I thought I was like
I just
for a second I was like, okay, this isn't terrible. It's like a top end. Then it was like all other. And I was like, okay, never mind. Nope, bad.
so, but like even the all other. So any scenario like in competitive play, you could probably see this happen. So what is the one drop green resonator that answers Barbados that pretty much every deck plays right now? Tama.
Yeah.
And if you tap a Tama, it still gets the sack and kill your 10-10 or 10-1.
Oh, it's
so it's like,
it's
why
got
would you just?
100D? Yeah, no, okay, never mind. Moving.
Yeah,
Moving
did you
on.
think it was? Did you think it was 1,000,000?
Yep.
Bad.
Yep.
Nope. Super bad.
Yep.
Oh, if it was
So
1,000,000, I actually think this card is one of the best cards in the set.
So bad. Okay.
Yep, but its defense is tiny. It's terrible.
Yeah, moving on. I don't know how I feel about
Oh, I
this.
love this guy. This guy's my little pet.
Go for it.
He's so bad. He is not even like remotely good, but
Yeah.
he's super cool. Like you can go like with Grubalesta and stuff like that, where it's like really shenanigansy decks. You can just sacrifice like 5 stones, put like 5 in the graveyard. He's now like a 10-11 for 1 mana. There's like some really cool stuff you can do with him, but it's really like it's awkward. Both of his abilities just suck. Like because you don't want to lose your stones. It's just setting yourself back.
Yep. Yeah, there's no way you come out ahead with his abilities. So like unless there's some sort of like prison stuff, like other prison stuff that comes out, like this just terrible. Terrible. Just straight awful.
You basically 2-for-1 yourself every time you want to do something with this guy and set yourself back on mana. He's just bad. He's kind of
Yeah.
silly but bad.
Yeah. Like I said, unless you have something that prevents your opponent from doing anything else any other time, yeah, it's just bad. Alright. Another pretty reprint. Another pretty
So
reprint.
Another couple. Yep.
I kind of like that Blood Boil actually.
The Blood
Yeah,
Boil
no,
looks
they
pretty
both
awesome.
look really good.
See, what I think is really cool is like I don't play a lot of like full arts or foils or anything. And y'all know I'm like a basic B, but I will play the heck out of a one of like full art card just because it looks so nice coming out of nowhere.
Yeah, it's also just really nice that they're all full art all the time. Makes it actually worth buying for like only a couple
Yeah.
cards.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It doesn't make you feel as bad. So Kane, he's not great. There is the only place where I think you'll see any plays. There's that baton cheese combo. So it's an alternate win con where they don't have to attack. That's pretty much.
Wait, how
Yeah.
does? Oh, with like the cloning magic baton and then a baton on another resonator.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I said cheese. Yeah. But yeah, that's it. That's my assessment of this card. Makes the cheese cheesier. That's about it.
I didn't even think of that cheese, but that's enough of an assessment
It's
for me.
some
I don't need
sour
to add anything else to that.
Yeah, that's like a what 6-card combo. You need 3 resonators. This guy plus 2 others, 2 batons, and two
No,
batons
you
and a
only
cloning
need
magic.
one
Like
baton.
no, you need 2 because you need something to untap the original resonator that has the
Cloning
baton
magic.
on it.
Cloning magic.
Cloning magic.
No, because it says another. It says another.
Oh.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no.
So you
Alright.
untap another. So you
Yeah,
need 2
okay,
resonators,
well.
each with batons on them.
Yep.
Ew.
Not great.
Alright. Alright.
Another pretty reprint. Another pretty reprint.
Super pretty reprints. I love that Demon Flame.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
it's-
nice.
It's super nice. Okay. Fire Wizard. This one, I think, is mildly playable if you're looking at Soul, but I think the blue one's better because the trigger ability is better on the blue one.
Well, I mean, we'll get to the blue one when we get to it.
Yeah.
But I think that they're both like very playable in the deck, because like when you think of like red, its limitations are that it can't go late and that it has no way to really accelerate its game into like a mid game state. Like it goes from like 1, 2, 3. It plays the incremental advantage, and then this Fire Wizard can just jump you ahead on something like a bolt that hits for 600 instead of 500,
You
and it's cool.
okay, do you choose on cast or resolution with Demon Flame? It's cast, right? Okay.
Oh, Demon Flame is on cast, yeah.
So
Because it requires you to target a resonator that has taken damage.
Yeah. So it doesn't combo with Demon Flame like that. Okay.
Nah, it's the same. It's the
sadly
same
does
thing
not.
with
That'd make
like
it a lot better.
the new Val and
make it a lot better.
Oh
Separation.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that'd make it a lot better. But it's still not terrible. I mean, it's definitely better than the rest, except for maybe blue, in my opinion. But you know. All right. The Fire Ruler. Yeah, I don't really think the resonance is good on this one, and particularly for what you're getting on the backside, I think the judgment is really steep.
So, the thing I have to say with this is it's very similar to Red Boy
Sure.
in terms of what it does.
Yeah.
And that's about the only card that I can compare this to. Is it's very similar to Red Boy. So in that case, like it, for the most part, will wipe your opponent's board. But so in that case, I don't hate it. I like it for that, but it'd probably be third or fourth for me.
I kind of like this guy. He's very reminiscent of Aliceris, just because he's a later game judgment with an Aliceris-like ability, and it's kind of unique that he just removes everything. So like if your opponent's playing Rook Eggs or something like that, or like Red Riding Hoods, they won't get triggers. But I just think the ruler side is like kind of ineffective. It's nice to play like a Demon Flame kind of mid-range red deck. Well, I think this guy's got promise, but I don't think he's like top material. Still think he's like maybe 4, and he could fight for 3.
Yeah,
That's exactly where I'm
put him
putting, like
I'd
3
put
or
him at
4.
I think the black one's the worst, but
He's
we'll
got
get
his
to it.
uses. I would agree with that. We'll get into that, but yeah, I think he's got uses, but I don't think he's got the uses are relevant enough to make him super powerful.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, no reprint. Also pretty. I'm not a fan of this Mogus. At least not right now. I don't like playing it 2-drop that can straight die to bow. And I don't really think preventing life gain is relevant right now. Yeah, this is one that keep in mind for rotation after rotation as a probably staple in a mono red aggro deck, but right now Lancelot just does it better, and this just isn't great right now. I mean, it dies to every removal spell out there, so I don't think it's great.
I like it just because it's got a 6 power swiftness thing, but like you said, it dies to Bow. When Bow goes away, he'll be a lot better. Or if you're playing like Wanderer, Mono Red aggro, maybe you might want to play a 1 or 2 of this guy just to have more swiftness guys. But other than that, he's not super phenomenal.
Yep, why not Lance? That's the only question you need to ask.
Yep. If you're
It's
playing,
like if you're trying to discount, if you're trying to get discount Lance's 5 and 6, basically, is why you would play this guy.
Yeah. Okay, moving on.
I don't even watch the show, and I knew who that was. You know what I'm talking about?
Are you referring to him being?
He's not so. Like,
Yeah, he's bad. He's bad. Yeah.
oh yeah.
It's not a good body for the price, and the ability doesn't make it worth it.
Yeah, we saw a resonator like this in TMS, Lapis, or no, something Beast, something Fire, Lapis Fire Beast, I believe. It's like a 6/4 for
Oh,
4, and it does 600 when it enters. This is like a better version of that, but it doesn't have swiftness, and that card was still bad because it was just tiny. So
yeah.
Yeah, and that one even had swiftness. It's a 6/4 and it's 600 to resonator. Yeah, no, that's bad.
yeah,
All right, moving on. Um, okay, I don't know how I feel about this guy. Uh, it's cool.
I go ahead. Sorry.
I mean, it kind of depends on like what you're playing against. I guess it it's cool because like if you have him, it makes a getting blocked by rook egg equal insta death, which is awesome. Um, but I don't know. I'd have to. I can't really tell with this one. I think I'd have to try it to figure it out personally.
So if I'm understanding the ruling right, I think basically what this guy is doing is giving all of your resonators explode. If
Kind
my
of.
understanding is
It's
Oh no, I'm
correct.
sorry.
it's
It's only when
inverted explode.
yeah, it's only when you
Oh,
are
inverted.
blocked. Yeah, never mind. No, this isn't great. I read it wrong.
Yeah, okay. So it's inverse explode, which makes it a little worse. I didn't play in Valhalla, so I don't know how good explode was, but that's the only thing I could think of even looking at this guy. He's weird. I don't know.
So the reason I think this card is like really interesting is because it's an effect that is entirely under your opponent's control. Like you don't choose when your opponent's gonna block. So it's just like if you throw down this guy and then you're just like, all right, I'll just beat your face in with Lancelot. It's like, okay, rook egg. Oh well, that was crappy play. But like if you can incorporate some sort of way to make your opponent's things block, I think there's like a 1 mana card from last set they printed. It's like a Bastet's Foresight.
Lipnir.
Oh yeah, Glipnir's a card too, but Bastet's Foresight is the one I was talking about. It's the 1 red cantrip. Uh,
Just the same
yeah,
thing as
but you
Lipnir.
can exactly. So you can manipulate this card a little bit. I think it's interesting. It plays well around Flame King Shout, which is a card I'm always having my eyes on. But yeah, it's nice. It's not great, but it's nice.
If I don't like any card that lets your opponent have the decision, because they're always going to make the one that's worse for you at that time. So in that case, I don't like it, because giving your opponent the decision is usually a bad thing. But yeah, the fact that you can mitigate it a little bit makes it a little better, but for that reason, I'm not super crazy about it.
I would agree. All right, Sylvia. I don't know how I feel about this one. This one's got some potential. I mean, for 4 mana, getting a 5/5 flyer and a 8/7 flyer, even without the swiftness, I think isn't a bad deal. Um,
Yeah, just as vanilla stats, that's
yeah,
you're
that's
like
pretty.
going over value.
Yeah. So like, I don't think this is breaking the bank, but I mean, like if you have these colors and like you need something to just throw in, this is a solid addition. It gives you a little bit of reach. Uh, yeah, I don't think it's terrible. I don't think it's great either. I think it's okay.
It's a fine rate for what you're getting. You get some decent bodies for it. I don't hate it. I don't think it's overly powerful, but it's a fine rate. I wouldn't be upset casting this card.
Yeah, no, I would never
Yeah.
be like, yes, I'm casting this card. I'd never be like, oh, I'm casting this card. It would just be like, yeah. Yeah.
It's got
I ca-
just fine value.
Yeah, I think this card it's exactly that. It's like just a equally good value card. You just get fast flying dudes, and that's all you really want in like an aggressive deck on the top end. But I think it's got a decent application in like a Kaguya deck too, if you wanted to try to do like some sort of matchstick aggro. I don't know, but you can awaken it for an Apollo, so there's that. But yeah,
Yeah.
I can kind of see this being played in a Sylvia Fringe deck, but it's not like super great.
Yeah, it's actually not bad in a power deck to cast it on 3. You could even theoretically cast it on 2 if you turn 1. Um, No, assuming you
Turn
have
one
two
elf.
Firestones. Yeah, turn one elf and drop a Apollo you could turn to it, which that would be insane value. So I mean, it has
That's
potential.
actually awesome.
Yeah, yeah. Moving on. I don't as much as I like Alice, this card's bad. It's just the stats are so bad. I like the coolness of the ability, but God, it's just the stats are terrible. Just so
Yeah,
yeah.
it's not good. It's not big. It costs too much. The ability's very cool. The art is adorable, but it's just overall stats wise not a good card.
Yeah,
Sadly.
if it were like an 8/8, I'd and like flying or something, I'd be like, okay, I can see potential, but it's just it's not enough for what it is.
Yep, not enough worth.
Yeah, I think it's weird. It's definitely not a great card. I think they definitely overcosted it. I guess they're afraid like if it's like, oh my god, it's 1 mana, they just search it out and play it every time they search it, and then Gliber becomes like, oh, it's too easy to cast. But yeah, it's definitely like costed nicely. It's hard to work a card like this in because it's so unique. But I think it's cool because it's like you could like
It's
end step
certainly
Faria's
cool.
summon,
Yeah, it's
and if you have
certainly
3 extra
cool.
up, just get this out.
Yeah,
Oh yeah. Yeah,
I
it's
agree. It's
cool, but I
certainly
don't
a
think
cool
its
card.
stats are worth playing. I don't think
Yeah,
it's worth enough to play,
it'd
even
be
if it is very cool and has some cute
it'd
interactions.
be worth it if
Yeah.
it were two total, in my opinion, but it's not. So this is a cool reprint, though. I mean, getting this in full art's awesome.
Oh,
Oh yeah, I'm
beautiful. I wish they would have
so
done the
happy about
Antonio
that.
homage.
We
I
already
know
have
that
this
would have been
card in full art.
amazing.
The charm. We already have
Yeah.
that in full art, so this is whatever. Um, Chronos is okay. I mean, yeah, it's okay.
What is the first thing I have to jump in here because the first thing
Go
I
for it.
thought when I saw this card is the Shaman Totem that costs 3 mana crystals. What is it called?
Ooh,
It draws you a card every turn.
I know what you're talking about.
It's just
And I
like
don't
I
remember its
instantly
name.
just like I snap thought of that and I was like, wow, this guy is so cool. He draws you a card every turn. You kind of like you put him out and then you tempo
Difference.
the game out. And I was like, wait,
Yep. Yeah.
he
You.
costs
Yep.
so much.
Well, the difference too
So
is that card is at the end of your turn, so it's guaranteed to at least replace itself. This does
Yeah,
not.
you're right.
I have to say, I think this card's bad. I'm just gonna say it. It's bad. It's 4 mana, which is a lot of mana to be putting into a card, and it doesn't get you anything until your next turn. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't impact the board. Doesn't provide any pressure to your opponent. I honestly don't think this card's good.
I could see it as like a one of in like a control deck, but yeah, I don't think it's good either. Moving
I
on.
think it's a bad card.
I think we're all in agreement.
Yeah.
I think I think that's like it's pretty cool characteristically though. It's like they made Chronos so broken at the onset, and then they made him just so bad in the reprint. It's just a
Yeah, it's
punishment,
kinda
I
funny,
think.
isn't it? Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Moving on. Yet another reprint. This one's just bad. I don't know, this card's bad. Okay, so we were at the blue ruler. Yeah, we already touched on him a bit. So this may be one of the more powerful ones. At least I think on the ruler side, I think we can all agree that this is probably the most powerful one. Because getting to scry every turn if you have magic water stones, all of your stones are that is so powerful. Just the filtering is
Exceptionally powerful.
insane. So I
And
think
honestly, I think, in my opinion, I'd rate him as number 1. I think he's the best out of the 5.
well it's so his
Honestly.
it, I don't know I'm stuck I'm torn between this one and the white one because they both do a similar thing on the J ruler side when they enter. The differences are the white one gets rid of everything and it's permanent. The other one is that this one just gets rid of your opponent's resonators and it's not permanent. So I don't know. It's a massive tempo swing though. So I don't know.
It's a
Yeah,
huge tempo swing, and that's why I would put this one over the white one, just because it's a tempo swing more than the white one, whereas the white one is more fair, both of your sides get hit. This one only hits your opponent. Granted, it is only resonators, which can be kind of a bummer, but that's why I think it's just such a huge tempo swing when you're going to flip it. Like, if you're on the back foot, it might take them a couple turns to rebuild after bouncing all their guys, and I just think overall it's probably the best of the 5 dragons. That's what I'm going to say about it. And it's a balanced size. An 11-11 flyer is pretty big.
yeah. I was gonna end on that statement when I was talking, but I'll actually start on it because I think 11-11 is just a really unique attack and defense to have. Because think about like the all the rulers at least, or the majority, I shouldn't say all of them, from the last set are like 10-10s or 6-6s. Well, Soul's technically an 11-11, I guess, but he's like a 5-5 really. It's a very unique power toughness, so it kind of wins trades against things it shouldn't win trades against, and yeah, it's very unique. And then on the ruler side, I think I would agree it's up there. I think the white one's better. It's just my opinion, but whatever. I'm the aggro player. But yeah, the ability is definitely strong. You have the effect
I
to
mean,
just sift through your deck.
it's it's really hard
It's
to
close
compare
between the two of them.
because it's two
Yeah.
different things. Like it's
They're
a
different. They're very
theoretical card
different.
selection as opposed to increased pressure. It's two very different things to talk about, which is what makes it
Yeah,
really
that's what
hard
I'm
to
like.
compare.
I
think-
always err for the aggro.
yeah,
That's just me.
yeah. I think they're both really good. Just my issue with this one is just I don't like water as a base color is just I think the weakest one. Um, so like that's what makes me hesitant about loving this card, personally.
You don't have to play only water magic stones
No,
to get
no,
this
I-
resonance. Like you can play
No, no, I
like Deep
understand.
Woods, you can
I
play
understand.
yeah.
Yeah, it's not just basics, but like you still I think want. Oh, maybe you don't want water as the main. I don't know.
It's easy to do. You could just play the blue green. You could play Deep Woods, and I don't want to cheat and say that there's already the shock version of it that's coming out as well. But you got that, so you can
Theoretically, we
technically
would
do
know
a
it
green base.
exists. So
That's true.
Yeah.
So yeah, so we have the other one. So
I mean,
technically, you
you
could
could-
play 8 green blue stones,
you can
be
easily
able
go
to
two
scry every
color.
turn, and still have a green base.
You can easily
Yeah.
go two color. You could go three color. You still just need blue as your main base. I mean, there's options. All right, let's move on. I like Kaguya a lot. I think it has some pretty strong potential. Just making continuous tokens just has. I don't know. It just feels like there's potential there. I mean, you can easily get into a position where you can overrun your opponent with just 1/1s. Or just like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I'm
mean,
not-
this,
you have chump blockers for days.
and I mean, I like this card a lot, just because like you can make a constant stream of tokens with it, and the closest thing to this is feasting in terms of consistent token makers. And if you have ways to recover this, you can make multiple tokens. So I like that a lot. So I think it's a cool card.
Yeah, I think she definitely has like a she's definitely like a niche card. I think she's really cool for like a Gwyber deck. She can come out on like turn 2, and then you can go, oh look, I'll tap her before my untap and tap her again. Oh, there's a Gwyber. I keep coming back to Gwyber, but that's like the iconic aggro card at this point, I guess, that you have to beat. But yeah, I think she's nice. Yeah, going off of what Gerd said, the constant stream of having just dudes to block or even just have a field of guys is just it's hard to beat. And if you get like if you can't answer her early, she's just gonna keep putting more and more dudes on the board, and you're not gonna be able to deal with it.
Yep.
Yeah.
They're also water resonators for Adam Browley too, so that's really cool.
And they get pumped by Shangri-La.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh my god. I knew you were playing this card too.
Yep.
I knew you were playing this card. I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
this is the first. That was the second card I thought of. The other ones we
Preview
haven't
things
gotten
to
to yet.
come. Nymph is bad. Let's move on. It's terrible.
What's up? Oh. That card is an embarrassment. Why would you even bother? Like you worked so hard on this card probably for the artwork and everything, and then you're just gonna be like, all right, what do we do for it? All right, 4 mana, 7/12 flying. Sounds good. No thought into it.
Yeah. This good reprint. It's pretty. Also another good
Super
reprint.
pretty.
I think my separation is gonna be sweet because that's gonna be like one of my favorite cards if there's ever an EDH format. That card is nuts.
Yeah. I actually don't like this card. The Xian. I don't think it does enough.
I'll let you take it because she's your bae.
It just doesn't do enough. Like the barrier. Even the barrier is weird. Like resonator. Like what's gonna target that? It's like okay. Like this, the only thing this is good for is like counter stealth. That's it. It's just not good enough. So I don't have anything else to say, and that's bad.
Nope, it's pretty bad.
Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, you can jump her in and save your dude. She works kind of like interesting with Muse, where you can kind of like just like, all right, well, he's gonna throw 2 removal spells at my guy. All right, Muse, or throw this down. Now my guy's big, and Muse is gonna protect it. So, but it's just, yeah, it's terrible. Like it's just not. It doesn't do anything good. Like barrier resonator is the most useless thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, like no, like this is a card that I can't just ever think being happy about casting. All right.
Like not even J Resonator. If you did J Resonator, it would be so good.
Better. Yeah,
but
it'd be better. Oh, this one's interesting. It's first of all, it's a decent body for its cost, and for blue, that's really good. That's great. This is cool because in Val 1, I'm not actually playing this one. I'll tell you right now. In the Val 1 we're gonna play with, it's a decent body. That can also provide some flexibility with the awakenings, but you have to cast them at sorcery speed. But the fact that you can get 1 or 2 is really nice. It's got some versatility. Like if I'm going blue base, I'm at least considering this card. That's about it.
I like it. It's flexible. I like that.
Yeah.
It's a flexible card. I dig it for that. It can give you some decent tempo swings. I think it's some good value, kind of like Sylvia was. Like I'd never be upset playing this card, but I'd never be super thrilled about playing it either. It's fine. I'd be totally fine with this card.
Yeah, I think it's modular, but it's not super great. It's nice.
It's pretty.
Yeah, I actually don't like this card at all. I think it's just like they put a lot of text on it, and the artwork is really distracting. It's just too much color. I don't know. A lot about this card I don't like.
I like the art. The art's really cool.
It's too much for me.
I like the art.
That's awesome.
It's pretty cool.
I'm like, where do they go? Start?
Alright,
Where do they end though?
let's
Seriously.
They start. It's not a snake. All right.
I'm just kidding.
Triton's pretty good. Yeah, this snap include if you're playing Val.
Oh yeah, absolutely. This card's real cool.
Unless you have some way of just consistently sacrificing your opponent's stuff, I don't think it's great.
Levitin.
Yeah.
Well, I think if you're going for the kind of strategy I think you're going for, this plays really well with the Prisia and Adabrali, because then you just take their dude, then you play, or not Prisia, excuse me, Kaguya, and then you like tap Kaguya and make a bunny, and then you sack the bunny plus their dude.
Gotta,
why? You can't play it now. It's my idea. No, you can't do it.
Nope.
No, you can't do it. It's my idea. Can't do it.
Right,
Dude, get good, man. You can't just steal my ideas.
Okay.
Nothing else to add. Let's move on.
Yeah. This one's not great. It's too expensive.
Nope. Way too expensive,
especially
and you like Nombo yourself.
Hey, but if you're playing Val 1, it's only 5.
Yeah.
Oh boy,
Still
I'm
not
just
good.
jumping out of my seat to play that.
It's like they just didn't want it to be part of Xion. Like, this would be so cool in Xion, actually.
Yeah.
If it was 5. Because if you're like, if you judgment Xion early, you still have cards in your hand and just dude on board, and you're just like, okay, pitch, take your dude. I have more dudes.
That discard 3 though is brutal. If it was 2, I'd like maybe
Yeah.
consider it. But nah, that's just
It's
way
awful.
too much. It's awful.
Awful.
Alright,
Absolutely awful.
yeah, I think, alright, Water Wizard, I think this is probably the best of the wizards. Um, because if you're consistently playing
So-
Chance Gang, Scries is awesome. That's,
So giving Bear Magic the ability to add Scry on top of it
it's just more
is
value.
enough to put this thing the best one.
No, like, just think about what you get that on. Bear Magic, you get that on, Space Time.
Oh, God,
Lunar
yes, you
Lake.
do. Oh my.
Yeah, like, there's just
Oh,
so
Lunar
much
Lake.
value to be
Oh
had.
no.
So originally,
this
when I
is
read
so
these
good.
guys, I thought all of the wizards had to use that will to cast that chant to get the ability. And like going back and reading them, like I realized this like yesterday, but it's just incredible. Like this card is so nuts.
Yeah, this one's easily the best in my opinion. Like, just more filtering is just like, imagine playing this in like
so
a
good.
blue base, uh, with the water dragon with a lot of the chance that we just mentioned, and it's just so much filtering and card choice. It's just insane.
It's so fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, but okay. All right.